All right, let's get the markets update now. And local markets closing in the green yesterday, boosted by gains in mining sector stocks. Now, the JSE All Share index advancing 1.1%. Well, for a quick overview of how the markets have opened today, let's speak to independent analyst Jimmy Moyaha. Jimmy, good morning to you, and thanks for your time. Let's begin with a day of gains yesterday. How is local trade faring today?
Morning, Tony. Morning to our viewers. Markets in early trade are slightly flat or slightly in the red. We've got the All Share and the Top 40 down about 0.1%. We've got resources up about 0.4%, but industrials and financials are both in the red. On the currency side of it, we've got the rand back above 1830. It's at 1842 against the dollar. It's at 22 rand 88 against the pound, and above 20 rand against the euro, sitting at 20 rand and 12 cents there. We saw overnight that the U.S. markets also finished flat. Asian markets are slightly positive today, so we're hoping that we might see a continued day of positivity on our local bourse, but it remains to be seen, still very early on, and there's a lot that the market is trying to contend with in terms of uncertainty and just the global picture at the moment.
Yeah, let's quickly launch into the company news, starting with the South African Post Office, which has been placed on provisional liquidation. Add to that the bill of 4.4 billion rand owed to creditors. Any more developments around this case?
Well, we know that this was initially started, or the liquidation process was announced around February. We know that towards the end of March, we were confirmed, or we were given the confirmed liquidators that would be embarking on this process. So it just looks as though that process is still well underway, and we know that in addition to the 4.4 billion that's owed to creditors, there's less than 4 billion in assets that the post office can liquidate at this stage. So it'll be interesting to see how things play out from a post office point of view and how this whole liquidation process goes ahead. It's an ongoing process, so we'll probably get updates throughout the day and for the coming weeks and months and so on as this process unwinds. It's unfortunate to see that this is where the process is, but the post office, if you remember, has been in the negative since 2013. There was, of course, that buyout offer that was made by a consortium in 2021, I think September of 2021, that was not accepted by the government. So it'll be interesting to see how the liquidation process unfolds and how many jobs need to be restructured and that sort of thing, and what's going to happen to things that we've spoken about in the past along the lines of executive pay and those sorts of things for post office management.
Yeah, let's talk Sibanye-Stillwater. It has reached a deal with lenders to increase the size of its revolving credit. Help us make sense of the route that this group has taken.
So Sibanye is looking to basically just free up some or add to their liquidity at the moment. Their previous credit facility was sitting at about $600 million. It's been upped to about $1 billion with the option to increase that to $1.2 billion. We know that some urgent needs from a business perspective. One of their Australian operations is going to get about a $30 million facility or addition to its current facility to help balance its current operations. We also know that they're in the process of trying to finalize the acquisition or the complete takeover of Newcrest Mining. They're in a bidding war, not a bidding war per se, but they're up against Newmont in that respect. And we know that Sibanye already holds a significant stake in Newcrest Mining. So hopefully some of the facility might be used to balance off that transaction. But we know yesterday that Sibanye also came out with a very clear statement that if there is to be a bidding war for Newcrest Mining, they are not interested in the bidding war side of things. They've made their final offer, they've tabled it, and they're not going to budge from that. But overall, from a liquidity point of view, this increase in the credit facility now puts Sibanye in an even stronger position from where they previously were. We know that they've been on a big acquisition drive of mines globally, not just in Australia. We know that they started out in South America as well. They've got operations in Finland, in the nickel space as well. So the business overall, from a strength and a financial health perspective, a facility like this is testament to the financial strength of the company as well as the confidence that the banks are placing in the company's ability to continue to run its operations.
Let's conclude with EOH, which has managed to seal 1.2 billion rand in new business. What more do we know about EOH's gains?
That's very positive for EOH. We know that they announced results recently. They confirmed to us that they finalized that rights issue of theirs, and this new business basically puts them in a better footing because the restructuring that has taken place now needs to find new business for it to benefit from. We know that they're splitting the new business across a couple of divisions. I think the financial services business is going to account for about 313 odd million of that new business. The mining side of it is about 400 million there. And the public sector side of things, interestingly enough, is only 37 million rands worth of the new business they've generated. We know in the past that EOH used to get about 20% of its revenue from mining business, from its public sector relationships and businesses. That went down to about 15%, and now in this latest round of new business, that is down to about 3% of what they've raised is from the public sector. So interesting to see that they've now pivoted more aggressively away from doing business with the public sector, but there are deals across areas that EOH specializes in, and those deals come at a much needed time where the business has now repositioned itself really well and is now attractive for business partners to collaborate with, and potentially attractive for investors to look at as an investment going forward.
Jimmy Moyaha, thank you very much for that markets update. Independent markets analyst there.